Well, one day I want to learn how to do this to a person.
A 30-year-old Spanish national named Jorge Martin Carreno resided and worked in Oxford. On Monday, July 26, 2021, his body was discovered face down in the water at Parsons Pleasure. Jorge had spent a fun-filled evening out with friends, but lost track of them after getting lost. CCTV footage captured an individual dressed in dark clothing approaching Jorge while he was seated in the city centre. The two were then seen walking together, with the last camera sighting them heading towards the Marston cycle path around 4:27 AM on Sunday, July 25th. At the time, there was no definitive evidence of third-party involvement in the death. The pathology results were inconclusive, leading the coroner to record a narrative verdict. Thames Valley Police continued to investigate, aiming to locate the person seen in the CCTV footage and determine what they knew about Jorge's movements.
Today's sentencing marks the end of a long and complex investigation. I know that many will want to focus on the actions and behaviour of this defendant. There are several aspects of this case that have been truly disturbing to see, hear and deal with.
In April 2023, US investigators shared information suggesting they had identified the individual in the CCTV footage. Who was Scarlett Blake? What involvement did she have in this case? Why was she known as the Cat Killer? Welcome to Mystery Hour, where we peel back the layers of criminal cases, exploring the darkest corners of human behaviour. Oxford, a historic and vibrant city in the heart of England, is renowned for its prestigious university, captivating architecture and rich cultural heritage. Often referred to as the City of Dreaming Spires, Oxford is home to the University of Oxford, the oldest university in the English-speaking world, dating back to the 12th century. Oxford's charming cobblestone streets are lined with historic pubs, quaint bookstores and vibrant markets. The picturesque River Thames and River Cherwell offer opportunities for scenic punting and riverside walks. Additionally, Oxford's lively cultural scene includes theatres, music festivals and diverse culinary delights, making it a city that beautifully blends tradition with modernity. This doesn't exempt Oxford from seeing any crimes though. In July 2021, a disturbing death took place which shocked the town. Jorge, who worked in a factory, was walking home alone after a night out with a few of his colleagues. However, he did not make it home that night. He was later found dead in the River Cherwell at Parsons Pleasure around 24 hours after being reported missing. Emergency services were dispatched to the river as multiple calls were made regarding a body floating in the water. The police quickly acted upon the calls and swiftly closed off the area as it was treated as an investigation. It was soon identified that it was a man in his 20s or 30s and that this was a recent occurrence. It was important the police acted fast, or else it would soon become a cold case and a killer would be on the loose. At the time, there was no clear evidence to show that there was a third party involved in the death, as the pathology evidence came back inconclusive. In efforts to find the person, the Thames Valley Police continued investigating, looking for clues and evidence to narrow down who would have done this. CCTV footage shows Jorge's movements as he was approached by someone else in the early hours of July 25th, 2021. CCTV footage caught somebody walking close to the murder scene at the same time as Jorge was. The police and investigators had trouble identifying who this person could have been, so they decided to release it to the public in hopes of identifying this person. Despite everything that the detectives had in their hands, they still had no answers about this death or who this person was. Time was ticking as they knew very little about this person who may have been involved in this murder investigation. The police soon identified the body, which belonged to a man called Jorge Martin Carreno, a Spanish national working in the United Kingdom. So who was Jorge? Jorge moved to the United Kingdom with his partner to work in a car manufacturer factory. Jorge was a qualified engineer. From what sounds like a normal life, Jorge's life was about to take a tragic turn. Jorge was drinking late at night with his friends. As he separated from his friend, he found himself going home alone. Jorge was extremely friendly, as his friends described him as a loving person. Now there's a name to the face. What actually happened on the night leading to the murder? Jorge was warned about city life in Oxford and how dangerous it can be. From murders to assaults, Oxford is full of unpredictable crime that Jorge was yet to ever experience. Plenty of CCTV footage shows a mysterious person walking in and around the city. This mysterious figure was captured walking along many streets of Oxford, as if they were looking for someone to prey on. Jorge and this mysterious person were sighted in various locations, yet everything looked normal. Jorge was outgoing and very welcoming, nothing out of the ordinary. Many unanswered questions still remain, but who was Jorge walking with? At 2 a.m, Jorge was finished partying with his friends and can be seen saying his goodbyes. However, Jorge remained in the city for an additional hour and a half walking around. It was 3:30 in the morning and Jorge can be seen searching for his address on his phone. Lost in the city, this was the least of Jorge's worries at the time, as he can be seen walking alone on the streets of Oxford. As time passed by, Jorge made several attempts at calling his friends. However, there wasn't any answer. Jorge is caught on several CCTV cameras in the streets of Oxford. One camera saw him dropping his wallet, and then a minute later he walked past it without realizing it. This is a sign of a lost man, confused about how to go home. Jorge is seen walking from street to street. At the same time, this mysterious figure is also walking in close proximity. Eventually, at 4 a.m, they are both spotted walking together, finally crossing paths. The two chat with each other for 15 minutes before setting off walking together. They are seen walking together on various cameras all over the streets of Oxford, especially a camera close to a park where Jorge tragically died in the river. This proved to be a vital break in the investigation, as now this mysterious figure could potentially be linked to Jorge's death. The search was on. Despite all this mounting evidence, this then became a cold case for over 2 years. Until a break in the case came in April 2023 when the US provided information that could identify the CCTV suspect. After analyzing Jorge's body, it was announced that his body had another person's DNA on him. This was important as it created a deeper link that this mysterious person was indeed a person of interest. 2 years on, a break in the cold case finally came through. Scarlett Blake was in a relationship with Ashlyn Bell, who lived in the United States. Ashlyn contacted the authorities and reported that Scarlett had confessed to murdering Jorge. Ashlyn Bell told the police that Scarlett and Ashlyn shared some morbid fantasies about killing animals and people. Scarlett showed very little remorse or empathy when speaking about her fantasies. 4 months before Jorge's murder, Scarlett's neighbors became increasingly worried about their missing cat. They searched high and low, yet could not find their cat. Scarlett was responsible for the cat's tragic death. In fact, she streamed the cat's death through various methods of torture. Ashlyn reported that Scarlett streamed this happening to her and eventually used a blender with the cat's remains. Ashlyn claimed all of this was indeed real, and she had all the evidence to back up her points to the police.
They could do that. So what we've got here is we've got a healthcare professional, so basically a nurse at custody. If you're, for instance, you need nicotine, then I think they've got those.
Nice, but I know they used to, but I think they stopped that. Yeah, double check. Like, for some reason, I want to say they stopped.
This is one police station that you work through.
It's not too bad. It's going to be grumpy for a while, which is annoying, but I suppose.
The police eventually took the evidence they needed and decided to visit Scarlett. This is how it went. Scarlett's phone was seized as it was used for the investigation. A series of pictures were found showing Scarlett's fantasies. Scarlett was arrested, but when asked if she committed the murder, she said no, and that she left him in the park. When questioned about the cat, Scarlett said she did it to win Ashlyn's approval.
Trying to get the attention of the world now.
This time, this is going to get progressively worse.
But then,
You hear some voices.
in the seedy underbelly of the internet, there's an unwritten rule, Rule 0. Don't fuck with cats.
Scarlett's actions were deeply motivated by the Netflix documentary Don't Fuck With Cats, as the prosecution said her actions mirrored what happened in the documentary. While Jorge was walking home alone after a night out, Scarlett approached him. Scarlett then lured him to a secluded area near the river, where Jorge was brutally attacked. Scarlett then forced Jorge into the water, where he tragically drowned. Scarlett Blake will spend at least 24 years in prison after being found guilty of murdering 30-year-old Jorge Carreno in Oxford in 2021. If you find our content enjoyable, kindly consider leaving a comment, giving the video a thumbs up, and sharing it with your friends. Your support is highly valued. Stay safe, stay informed, and we look forward to seeing you in the next installment of Mystery Hour.